so unseen in the tournament, and also Abaddon because there's a lot of single target initiations.
I think
Force Staff?
Force Staff has been taken over by Glimmer Cape.
Yep. Sadly.
And Abaddon?
I think Abaddon is just like a little, like, there's too many better, like, he's a defensive support, but right now there's Dazzle and Wyvern. Both of these heroes do a similar job, but better than Abaddon.
Glimmer Cape does a better job than Abaddon.
Yeah, really, and he's really not good at that.
When replaced by an item.
When I asked a similar question to someone well in the know, and I won't repeat who it was, he said, the clue is in the name.
Abaddon.
Yeah.
Abaddon. Can I give that I call it a 6.5 out of 10.
Oh, that wasn't even an attempt at a joke, but yeah, I'll take the 6.5.
So the Phantom Lancer has been viewed as pretty strong in the recent couple of days, but not versus Leshrac, I feel like. Leshrac destroys him.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's going to be a scary hero, I feel, with Darkseer and Bounty Hunter, but indeed, versus Leshrac Shaker, it's a very weird pick. Definitely. Yeah. Probably two of the best heroes to have versus PL.
I think if you plan on giving the other team Leshrac, you generally wouldn't go for a PL strat at all. That's like one of the furthest carries away.
Yeah, I don't really understand right now what is Xiao 8 aiming for.
Do you two have any suggestions on this?
Maybe it's just like us securing off like late game, because there's no anti-mage, and we already talked about this before. Anti-mage and PL are the two strongest in the late game right now.
But I feel like Leshrac is one of those heroes that's also extremely strong late game.
6-slot Leshrac, I think, beats 6-slot PL.
With the Octarine, it's so hard to fight him. Yeah. So I'm not sure about that approach.
I would like to see a hero on LGD that has like more of a disable than just a light strike array. I feel like that's what they're lacking right now.
Bane. Virtus.Pro, they've been the team to draft like always the same type of heroes, like the Rubik, Lina, Shaker, Leshrac. It's the same type of heroes. It's like spell-heavy heroes. Yeah, with laners.
Bane is also weird here, right? Because it's not a hero that you go, like a support that you go for against PL.
It's good versus Darkseer, though.
Yeah, it's good in the lane versus Darkseer, but not really good.
Not good versus PL.
Yeah.
So is LGD going to do something funny with their last pick? Like, are they going to, I mean, like, pick Pugna and push, or...?
It's really hard to predict, honestly. To be completely honest, I feel clueless about both those drafts because, I mean, they just picked a PL and you decide that your Shaker is not going to be a support, so it's going to be that Shaker offlane again, and PL is going to free farm, most likely, and they're drafting heroes that aren't really good versus PL.
CK ban out.
We talked about CK yesterday.
We did.
Like,
and today as well.
Pick. Yeah, I think he's... he actually should have been picked up a little bit more by Virtus.Pro. They can throw it in sometimes instead of Silencer. He's underrated.
Just going to throw this one in here. EG versus VG in the group stages. VG took Leshrac. AG won the game with Bounty, Gyro, Wyvern, Spirit, and Undying.
And they go for a TA versus Leshrac. It's a so-so matchup. It's decent, but it's going to force Leshrac to maybe take a level in Edict. And in that case, he does way better versus the TA. He has a lot of killing potential on the TA.
But I remember talking to some players, they feel like even without the Edict, you can still beat the TA.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the Edict would actually be not so good because it takes away your farming during the early game, the stacks and stuff.
And with the Crystal Maiden Aura as well, I mean, you're just going to outlast the TA.
Yeah, so probably he doesn't really need it that much, but like what Seb said, it could be an option that makes him, like he leaves a skill point, so when he needs it, when the TA dives to him, he can always just take it when he needs it.
Samael took Windrunner for EG, also in the group stages against MVP Hot 6, and they beat Leshrac.
I think this is a good Slark game. I kind of like it. I don't think they have a lot of control for Slark.
There's no control for Slark apart from the stun from the Lina.
Yeah.
There's Leshrac. Tons of AoE.
Wow.
It's G Queen of Pain.
That's a very
and it is an Illidan Leshrac.
What a crazy draft. We finally get Leshrac on the board in the main arena. Ladies and gentlemen, let's head back to our commentary team for Game 2.
Well, can we believe it? Virtus.Pro versus LGD. It is love, it is life, it is Leshrac. They actually let him have it.
Yeah, and as the panel is pointing out, it's one thing giving away Lash, which has been banned every single game of the main event. It's been the only hero, I think, so far that was banned every single game out of the top tier heroes. I feel like LGD hasn't really counterpicked it that well, so that's what's puzzling for me. If you give away a hero that's widely regarded as being like the most powerful hero in Dota right now, you generally are expected to have a really clear plan against it, and I'm with them. I don't see it that much. I think the one thing that they didn't talk about enough, though, is that the Ion Shell carriers that LGD have are really good. They have a PL, he can easily get in close, and they have a TA who's most likely to get a Blink Dagger. And maybe the plan for LGD here is we give them Lesh, but we're going to be all up in Leshrek's face so early that the Lightning Storm and the stuns will come out like once in a fight. They will run in and they will try to kill him off.
But that's when heroes like the Bane can come in, or the Earthshaker, or the Crystal really Maiden. Like, they got so much control, and maybe that is the reason why the Bane is being picked up, and maybe not that great up against Phantom Lancer, but great against the early aggression that LGD might want to be forcing. I'm with you. Like, it seems like a really unusual draft, and if it pays off, brilliant. If it doesn't pay off, LGD will still be sitting there going, like, we gave them Leshrac. Like, this isn't the greatest thing. I also love the fact that Xiaowei just managed to do what he just did. He slipped himself around the tree line, saw where Virtus.Pro was standing, and then put an Observer Ward right behind them without revealing his position at all. So VP will have no idea how to counter that ward, or where it is to counter that ward early on. Yeah, I remember one game standing actually in this room where I was also just as confused about the draft. But it's the game that cannot be named. But that's what I'm feeling right now. If LGD pull this off, it's going to be amazing. If they don't, then Virtus.Pro will comfortably walk their way forward to victory in the third game.
It's definitely a sign of confidence from LGD that they go for this, right? They're up 1-0. They feel like they can try something different. They knew that VP were going to take the Lash, right?
Yes.
And you saw them, they took quite a bit of time in the first banning phase. I guess they were discussing, are we going to go for this right now? Are we going to try to let it through? And what's our plan for the follow-up 2 picks? And they agreed that it was worth a shot here to throw VP off their game a bit. Because realistically, VP were definitely not expecting getting this hero in this event, I think.
Yeah. There was a very unusual kind of thing to get. But now let's focus on our lanes, which are already underway. So we do have this duel versus duel lane on top, where it's Lil and Illidan working together as this Baneless Shrag. Nice setups into stun combos. Illidan did go for that stun, but he is not waiting for the Nightmare from Lil just to go for it. So decides to spam it out.
The moment Xiaowei sees that stun, he's like, I regret nothing giving them Lash. This is what I wanted to happen.
The Sentry Ward battle is also happening on this top lane. They were trying to get rid of him for the moment. Wow, that middle lane got out of Blitz off away to safety. Be very careful of the sidewall up on top. The Nightmare's keeping Darkseer away. Xiaowei. Man, I'm wondering if the reason why Leshrac is on this safe lane is, as you said, like LGD want to get up at his face. So they put him up there to keep him safe. But Darkseer as well as Xiaowei, like, they're doing a real good job of keeping right on top of Illidan and not giving him breathing room just to farm. He's 3-2 on this lane. Compared to Sylar, who's having a lot more space thanks to MMY. Phobos can't do anything on this bot lane. He's managed to at least find 2.5 levels.
This top lane is still very volatile. I mean, sure, Illidan misses that stun, but it's also a level 1 Split Earth. It's not the easiest spell in the world to land. The target he was trying to land it on, I believe, was the Bounty Hunter. He has good base move speed, so it's not that easy.
Phobos, trouble after getting that Lance. I'm just going to slow him down, but MMY not in range for his stun or his slave, so he'll be fine.
I mean, if Yao gets Nightmared up right here, he could almost die from full health. That's what's really scary. I think he would manage to survive, because what VP need to accomplish is they need to make a fast surge and then stun him.
And even when maybe is denying his creeps, you've got to look for the Psyblade spill. And God again! Okay, now, maybe does have vision on that hillside. So he is seeing where God is moving, but his positioning is wonderful. Should also flag the fact that Xiaowei's got the end of this DD rune. He's going to get rid of that dire Sentry Ward, and that was the last one they had up there. So he can now freely move, while FNG, I applaud him for smoke movement, but he did it right on top of the Observer Ward that LGD placed before. So the smoke movement has already been seen by the Templar Assassin.
If they went in right now, they would kill maybe, but he's hesitating, and now the bottle is going to be there. Now he will have Refraction mana.
And God moving forward.
This was the
Yep, missed timing.
Worst possible timing, unfortunately, there for FNG.
Well, they're still going to go for the Frostbite. Burns through the Refraction, and God, he's not baiting out the meld. Nightmare off on top. Illidan's going to get the follow-up stun over on Xiao Wei. They do have a level 2 Brain Sap. Unfortunately for them, they cannot see Xiao Wei. Meanwhile, on bot lane, MMY is having the time of his life, just pulling out and watching Sylar getting bigger and bigger. He's got 18 for 4 as far as the CS goes. And this PL will come online very early on.
It is, of course, something the panel talked about during the draft is the PL versus Lesh matchup. Oh, wait a second here. And he's going to surge out.
The D-ward of the D-ward of the D-ward. That's the top lane battle right now.
It's a matchup. So the PL versus Lesh is a matchup that PL does not like compared to a lot of other ones. But the thing you can do is, of course, you can...
Oh, God. Trouble. Xiao Wei on the other side of him. He's still got Blink available. And Xiao Wei ticking down quickly. That attack missing up the hill. And FNG just needs a Nova, a Frostbite, or just something. He's not in range, and Xiao Wei back into Invis and away to safety.
Yeah, if FNG had the 1-1 build, that would have been first blood. That's pretty unfortunate.
Yeah, but he went for the 0-1-2. And Couriers, beware. Maybe just having a great old time.
Laning against TA just sucks if you're not winning the lane immediately. Like, it's so frustrating. He's playing a lane dominator in the Queen
top lane. They need the vision. They're trying to actually get, and there it goes. But TP support's going to come in. Illidan, he doesn't know if he really wants to stun. MMY is also moving up. So LGD have 3 players on the top lane.
Oh, Xiao Wei.
Yeah, he's going to find Illidan. He's also going to aggro the stack to come out and attack him. And he's realizing, yeah, that's only going to happen if they've got true side of me, which they do. It's the sentry ward on the side, and this is not a position where he wants to be nightmared. Illidan having 2 points up in line, he could just harass back both Yao as well as MMY from this lane. And they even get a couple of Diacries pulled over to the stack, which will deny up a little bit more. While now middle lane, maybe, as a new sentry ward down, he still never leveled up Meld. So he doesn't have the normal dodge, but with the movement, it's almost a dance around the middle lane, a blink away by God. These side blade movements are wonderful. And still Phobos not finding anything. He's actually got 8 CS on the off lane. That's more than I thought he would. That's actually less than I thought Yao would be able to pick up running this second level Iron Shell.
Yeah, the laning stage is okay for VP so far, but of course the problem is that Sylar is farming way more than the Lesh because he's way less contested. It's just natural that this is the development. And for this kind of matchup, wait a sec, LGD? No, this is, they're gonna find it out. There's another sentry ward here in mid.
Nightmare top lane. Yao could be in trouble. This might be the first blood with the stun and the brain sap and lightning. It will be. Virtus.Pro get their combo off. And the Darkseer is the casualty of war here for LGD.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
This is gonna close the gap between Illidan and Sylar. Of course, he gets quite a bit of gold from that 350. It's about
God's also going to make a play for bottom.
Value.
Got a fresh TP just flowing in, but it's Sylar who's down here. Going to start the doppelganger now. God does have ulti, but Phobos is too far away to get the fissure. So the rotation from God will be unsuccessful. And maybe tries to make the most out of it by pushing its creep into the tower. Unfortunately for him, there's no catapult there, so no real damage being dealt to that tier 1. Xiao Wei still waiting for an opening. Oh, what a time to put down a sentry ward. They'll scout out Xiao Wei in the tree line. They don't even need to use the stun just yet. He's moving out of range of the sentry, but they still kill him off in time. So Virtus.Pro, another kill, and this time, importantly, going into the track. And is going to speed along his farm quite nicely.
This top lane is not working out the way LGD were hoping for. If this is what they were hoping for, they definitely drafted a losing lane. 1-2. VP are looking for more.
Yep, they're coming after Maybe. They need Maybe to move forward, however. If you can bring him in range with the Nova, then, yep, there's enough of a slow. They can follow up with the Frostbite. God looking forward, keeps the vision up. They'll trigger the dust, so nowhere to hide here for Maybe. And the Sonic Wave takes him out, dishing out some good damage to Sylar and God. No blink, they need more space. FNG, Frostbite, 1 second. He'll keep Sylar back, but he cannot hold the illusions in play. All the attack coming in from the Lina. So you lose the Templar Assassin, but you claim the Queen of Pain in return. Not to mention the smoke movements from VP, but also TPs from LGD. Even trade really at the end of the day. Xiao Wei being a big nuisance. Stealing the rune out from underneath the Bane.
This is space for Phobos, though. This is something we need to keep in mind. The PL rotated, so I want to call it a minor victory for VP. They had to use a smoke, but they forced TPs. They get some farm on Phobos, who will now have a Soul Ring and Tranquils. And start building up towards this Blink. And this is the kind of game, so if you've looked at Shaker's itemization in this patch compared to previous patches, the Tranquil Soul build has fallen out of favor a lot more. Generally, Shakers favor getting the Arcane Boots now after the buff to them. But when you have Crystal Maiden, this build is very sustainable.
I'm actually wondering about one little item build, that skill build that maybe you can shed some light on. The Queen of Pain is staying on level 1 Shadow Strike and going into now a second point in Blink. But the Shadow Strike's not ticking out the defensive refraction charges on Maybe. And Maybe hasn't meld dodged a single time. Wow, okay, Yao, that's a lot of damage coming into you. Isn't it worth it going for that second point up in the Shadow Strike on God?
It does take refraction down.
It wasn't when he had the level 1 on him. I think it's going to be level 2 before it's actually going to do anything.
That sounds very... Wait, are you sure?
Have a look again. I was double checking because my mechanics aren't that terrific, but I was checking.
It deals 30 damage per tick. If that doesn't remove refraction, it's bugged. So, if you're sure you found a bug,
wait for me. I'll get on the dev forums later on. But have a look if he doesn't level it up again. Anyway, yeah, but it's one of those small little things to keep your eyes on. These observer wards from LGD, their vision in the last game was terrific. The second they got an advantage, they placed down 2 very aggressive observer wards. Now they're doing the same thing, watching the VP jungle. So there's no easy way just to flash farm without knowing that they've disappeared. Also allows Xiao Wei to more freely move around this map. Oh, Xiao Wei. Fiend's Grip.
Well, he can move around freely until he gets gripped. Then you can't really move at all.
And now he's going to understand, because normally he'd be safe. Like, you'd think you're safe on that position. The tree should block the Fog of War, but there's an Observer Ward watching the Radiant stack, the Radiant Ancients. And that's what revealed at his position.
Honestly, this has got to be worrying for LGD. They know Leshrac is finding good farm. He has 2 kills. They know their PL is getting good farm himself, but as I was mentioning earlier, it's not really a good matchup for PL. What you can do is that you can try to dodge the stun with Doppelganger, and when you're starting to lose your illusions to all the AoE damage from the Pulse Nova, you can make some new ones with Doppelganger as well. But for that to work, your main hero needs to have pretty much full health. And even then, just 1 Lightning Storm can get rid of them. This is, the game plan for LGD is not really working here unless they're just planning to really slow play it with TA and PL.
We're going to hit that 15-minute mark where it's like, all of a sudden, surprise is exactly what LGD was planning. Because right now, it just feels like this slow walk forward for Virtus.Pro. It's not for golden experience. In fact, the experience is 100% on 0, while Illidan now being charged down with the Pulse Nova with Laguna Blade. They're able to find the kill on the Leshrac, and maybe even Lil with the Light Strike Array. In comes Maybe, huge amounts of damage working for him. And 2 quick kills here for LGD. They'll de-ward Virtus.Pro as well on this top lane. And that is the first death of the Lesh.
Very nice rotation and just...
Are we actually in a 4-man mode right now?
They're just outnumbering them.
That's it. Like, Phobos is still having his fun on bot lane up against Sylar, but it's just a 4 on what was a 2 situation then. And they see the rotation of God.
So there's something to keep in mind about this bottom matchup. Let's see if there's a fight happening here first. I think LGD are going to get the hell out of there. Yeah. So generally, if you're playing any sort of offlaner with Tranquil Boots, one of the big benefits of this build is that if you get targeted by spells, you just keep regenning up, so they have to get in with an actual attack on you. But PL has a very special ability in that Phantom Lance where it deals magic damage, but then the illusion you spawn deals physical, and it's going to break the Tranquils. So Phobos has to stand back more than he would like against the spell harass, and he has to wait quite a lot from time to time. And it's limiting his impact here a little bit. He's still getting decent farm though. He's up to 36.
Oh, wow. Reality was not discovered, only illusion. Virtus.Pro wasting their Fiend's Grip on just a fake PL. It would have been amazing if it was a real Sylar, but it wasn't amazing. It was terrible.
Amazing. For EP.
Nice in.
Thank you.
All right, so Virtus.Pro, at least they're showing initiative to move around and find the openings. But putting someone like Lil now here in the mid lane up against maybe is not the most comfortable position for a Bane to be, and he's already hit level 6. But they're doing this because God's moved into the jungle, trying to farm up towards that Orchid. He's almost level 11 as well, so the Sonic Wave's going to get stronger and stronger. And Illidan going on his Bloodstone build. Still, this top tower has not been removed. Fortification also still exists for LGD. So he can't just walk in, edict the tower, and then just walk himself away. Not with at least the fortification popping, and they'll burn most of the time of the edict. And Yao's doing a good job of dragging that creep wave back down. But even with that one death that came the way of Illidan, he's still sitting at the top net worth. Almost 5,400 gold sitting in him right now. But the worrying thing for Virtus.Pro has got to be the next two. You got 5.2k on the Templar Assassin as well as the PL. That's a lot of money coming in, but maybe he's not an aggressive build. Like, what have we got? We're going into the Desolator build by the looks of it.
Oh, he's baiting them again. This time they're not going to fall for it.
Well, this time they don't have mana for a Fiend's Grip.
Yeah, who knows?
He could have done it. 2 for 2.
I found him this time.
The only thing that would be more insulting would be roaring a boar. But right now, Virtus.Pro, the push coming in on the top lane. Illidan, he wants it. Like, with the catapult, they might just use the fortification anyway to try and find this denial. They got to time the attacks right, and yep, there goes your fortification. The catapult instead just one attack, and Illidan here, he's sticking around for this. And, well, no, doesn't attack at the right time. Actually cancelled his animation at the last moment, allowing Sylar to complete his TP and get in, while Lil, he's in more trouble. Brain Sap's alive back that MMY stole. Not all of it, but the Fissure block catching out too, while Illidan stunning on Yao. The Pulse Nova is going to go to work. The Darkseer throws down the wall. FNG's actually dying if he's not careful. You can't ulti inside of a wall until the Sonic Wave from God all over LGD, but not really, again, enough damage to find another pickoff. He'll have to blink himself away to safety. Tracked up at the moment, the Obs and Sentries are left behind, so they seem maybe chasing an FNG. He needs more time to find mana before he can TP out. Now he's got that time and the TP. He'll get himself away to safety, and we'll get a 2-1 trade-off, where Virtus.Pro, they do get a slight advantage in it in both gold as well as experience.
Very nice escape from FNG there, cutting through the lane. Oh. The Leshrac that they tried a little bit to counter with their dual offlane found a 15-minute Bloodstone. This is generally not a good sign for the enemy team when Leshrac has this amount of farm. So the reason this hero has been banned almost, well, actually every single game of the main event until now, and for the vast majority of the group stage, is he has very, very few weaknesses. The only two weaknesses that I feel like he really has is he has low base armor and he has no mobility ability. Apart from that, he is really strong in lane, he has long range, he has a lot of damage, he has incredible itemization, he farms very fast, he can jungle, he can support. He's pretty good. He's also decently weak against Roshan. Edict isn't that good, so I guess that's another slight weakness compared to other heroes.
He really sounds like the perfect horse.
He is.
Even his weaknesses you can learn to love. But right now, LGD will not be loving the movement coming in from Virtus.Pro. They throw down the sentry ward in case Xiao Wei walks up the hill. He is actually out of invis right now on the Fissure. Stunning on MMY. God's going to jump in and ensure the kill. FNG, full duration channel? Nope. Obviously not a real CM, but he'll need more help here. Where's the Fiend's Grip? Actually, Nightmare over on the Crystal Maiden. It will not save her from Sylar's wrath. As they go further over on Lil, Track will come now off cooldown. The Fissure from Phobos. It keeps Xiao Wei out. While God, now he goes on maybe. You can watch that tick. We've actually got level 1 on it. But they're getting through the damage, and God blinks himself away to safety. Illidan still in the neighborhood. They don't want to take any more of the risks.
So they get the kill on CM was a track kill, I think. Or yeah, it must have been. I think Xiao Wei was definitely level 6.
Yeah, he had track off cooldown, on cooldown when they chased down further. So it was a track kill.
This is when it starts getting interesting for LGD, because even if that early game didn't go exceptionally well, they also didn't get crushed. And if they can start taking even fights with the Bounty Hunter, who, by the way, I think is like 8-1 at the main event, his win rate is ridiculously high, then we might see a 0% win rate Leshrac at the main event if that happens.
That would be crazy. You can, if for all those stats friends out there, you can enjoy it for Leshrac.
This is a pretty interesting stat. So, you know, generally when you go into super late game, Leshrac tends to win. So the games Leshrac is strong in, he tends to win them between minute 30 and 40, which you also saw from that. It's like a really high win rate in those games. But in super late game, PL just becomes a monster. And even if you have really, really good farm on your Lesh, lots of AoE damage, like level 3 Pulse Nova, Shiva's Guard, everything, if PL is farmed enough...
Oh, Xiaowei, FNG, there's no mana for his ultimate, so he can't throw it down on Xiaowei, but he'll have help coming in from God with a Sonic Wave. They take out the LGD captain. There's a very defensive sentry wall being planted down by FNG.
Cost them a tower, though. Salar will take the top tier 1.
But they also grab the tier 1 tower on bot lane for it. That's where VP pushing.
That happened at the same time. So Illidan's getting that one. He is getting very rich. And you see, this is just the thing about Lesh. It's such a natural transition. You take the tower, then you don't have to just stay in lane. You just cross the map. Oh, I'm on my way to mid lane. Let me just kill these 2 Ursas at 0 mana cost almost because my Bloodstone keeps my Pulse Nova up for free. You go in, you take the next tower with Edict. Well, he might be forced back here though, as LGD are coming in with multiple heroes. Track is starting to come out as well.
Yeah, a lot of heroes, and VP have to be mindful about this. It's not just if they get an even fight that everything is even Stevens. It's when LGD starts getting a lot more money, especially during these 5-on-5 fights. Xiaowei trying to get more information.
That's a big item. That's also decently timed. He's level 10, by the way, on Shaker, which is perfect. That's level 4 Aftershock.
He needs to wait for it to fly out. Like, it's still coming on the couriers. The Blink Dagger we're talking about over on Phobos. But he is tracked up, and the track will now wear off. The vision on the Dire side is decent. Templar Assassin, nice to deny the mid-tier 1 tower. But that's now all the tier 1 towers down. Now, I'm not seeing anyone from LGD peeing out at the moment the fact that Phobos has this Blink Dagger, and they should probably keep Lil away from Phobos during this time. Just so it doesn't show.
Of course, Shaker pretty good at wiping out the Phantom Lancer illusions. Now with the Blink Dagger, should easily be able to get in Sylar.
Oh, what a room for Illidan to have. And the Sentry Ward. Xiaowei's about to walk in range of it. They'll see him straight away, and there's your Fiend's Grip on a real target. It's going to be the Bounty Hunter and the follow-up Fisher. It keeps Yao and MMY away, so Xiaowei will drop. And now MMY didn't realize Illidan was there. He came out of the invis room with the damage with the Echo Set blinking. They'll still pick up the Leshrac, but with the CM ulti, Sylar's trying to run himself away one way, while the Templar Assassin is just on a small little hunting spree of her own, trying to chase down Phobos. He's able to blink himself over the hillside. Courier's even dying as well. The Radiant lost their Courier. It only had a TP though.
Such a good play from Illidan, not breaking the invis there. I think most other players in that situation just go for the quick kill on Bounty Hunter and get out of there, knowing that, okay, they got information, let's kill him quick. He uses the invis to his advantage. He knows that the Shaker and Bane together should be able to kill the Bounty from full health. And that surprise jump he gets on the Lina because of it really makes a big difference there. Big fight for VP. That's going to pretty much brings the game back in their favor right away.
They got to get away though. Illidan and God is still here. Sonic Wave is available, and FNG being initiated on. They're going to back in at FNG. Only 2 hits from maybe. Now the Desolator is up with the 3 heroes locked in. Sonic Wave, God, let her rip! And there she goes, a double kill with a spill of the last bit of the wave. Phobos, they could blink into a Totem Stomp right now, but does not have Fissure or Echo Slam. The VP came here for objective-based gaming. They want that tier 2 tower. Aggressive TP coming in right now from Sylar, looking over towards God. The stun from Illidan, just a little bit of time, and the blink away from God has to happen. They got Pulse Nova back, and these illusions will not survive long once Illidan turns that on. So Sylar need to throw out more, maybe Blink Dagger. Another 7 seconds till he can catch up, and then just using the TA traps to slow down this retreat of Lil as well as Illidan. And Lil, well, at least got the medallion, helps him for the moment. And Virtus.Pro, they'll back up. They did take the tier 2 tower. And a very successful fight for them. They managed to gain over 4,000 net worth with that fight, and we won't even see the follow-up repercussions of it. That's really going to cripple LGD, not to mention momentum on a Leshrac.
He's back to 8 Bloodstone charges. He must have died with it once.
He died once and bought BTs and came straight back to the push.
Now he's getting a Staff of Wizardry. There's a couple of potential buildups with this. I think I guess the most obvious one would probably be the Yule Scepter. We see that a lot of the time, just to set up for a stun for yourself. In this game, I think 4 Staff could be decent as well. Of course, he could go for the Axe. Probably unlikely in this game, though. I think it's Yule's. We'll see.
For now, I can at least tell you they'll go for Roshan. That is something which VP Not very quickly do it, but they're still getting through it. And LGD just trying to make the most of the downtime where maybe pushing out the top lane. A TA is still the #1 net worth hero on the map. Over 10,000 net worth on the Templar Assassin with Blink Desolated, another 1,600. Looks like FNG doesn't want to let this mid tower go without a fight. And does push him back, but at the same time now LGD with a 5-man movement into the Dire jungle and up to the tier 2 tower. VP cannot defend this. No fortification and no time to get their players up. But they have an Aegis Immortal in the hands of a Latrak. Not to mention, if he finds a couple of kills during the team fight, he may just instant respawn anyway. And we'll BT in, so it's 3 Latraks.
He is one of the best heroes to have an Aegis on. He has so much benefit from burning his entire mana and health pool in a fight, just dying and coming back because you have your entire array of spells again. In a way, it's similar to Storm, where you want to commit in, you want to deal all the damage, lose all your mana, and then just come back and do it again. He's at the absolute top of the list of heroes that really seem to always be good Aegis carriers when played in a core position.
FNG is going to find one of the Observer wards, but that Observer ward was the bait ward. They still leave another one deep on that top lane, which will allow them to see just how much VP is committing to hold on to their jungle, or at least push into that top lane for the moment. It's not that great to watch the lower entry into the jungle. But time is on VP's side for the moment. They're still going to hit that timing attack. God's getting closer and closer towards his Aghanim Scepter. And we are looking at the Eul's build from Illidan. While Earthshaker even now finds another big item, a 4-staff up from the Earthshaker. Played the maneuvering game. Blink, Echo, 4-staff back out, or 4-staff your own hero is in or out to safety. Mid lane's where they're coming in. That's the BT in from Illidan, and they're looking for an opening target on MMY. He's going to dig down from just almost the Orchid itself. God does have a blink, and yep, he'll come in and finish the job. Wicked sick now for God. Just rolling through the kills. He's 8-1 on this Queen of Pain. The highest kill count of any hero in game number 2 right now. It makes up for the troll of last game, even though that was played by Illidan.
G played fine in the last game too on the Storm. I think he played the best out of his team. He's been really solid at this main event. And he's gonna almost have an Ag Scepter now. He's 400 short after claiming this bottom wave.
He's actually got the whole thing, I think. Is that on the courier?
He's missing the point booster, right?
Point booster's on the courier.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He's actually got the whole thing 25 minutes in at the same time the Eul Scepter gets completed.
He bought the Ogre Club first, which signals to me that he was considering BKB as his build-up, and then he just saw how the fight started going and how rich they got. And now that he has Sonic Wave level 3 with Ags, that's a 575 pure damage nuke.
And Templar Assassin thought life was going to get easier now she got the BKB. You've still got Fiendscript to deal with as well. See, if you've got silences, you've got controls through BKB, and you've got a huge amount of area of effect damage coming out with a combination of both Illidan as well as God. But they're going to try and play this one. You got Xiao Wei moving in from behind, trying to get the vision up with the early tracks. As the Fissure stunning maybe. He blinked forward to try and take out Phobos, and Xiao Wei the TP out in time. He's able to do so. Barely, however. The tier 2 town will still drop down, even if it is denied by the Phantom Lance. I think it's like 3 LGD towns that have been denied in just this game out of the 5 that were taken.
It's still such an even game on gold. Like, they're behind 8 kills, they're behind 4 towers. Yeah, and the net worth is almost dead even. So it means that if VP lose a fight, they're playing into track. There are unclaimed towers that LGD can get. Oh, they're also Roshan ahead, by the way. Like, this is... I'm starting to wonder if VP are far enough ahead. With all the things they have taken, it seems like they might not have enough later on. When the BKB start coming out, they're going to be really good against VP. I mean, sure, you've got the strong Sonic Wave against a hero like Templar Assassin, but if she doesn't get hit multiple times by Diabolic Edict first to break that refraction, she could pretty much go on anyone else. And it's going to be very difficult for the Dire side to deal with. They have to either commit Fiend's Grip or to have Leshrac run into her, which can also be pretty scary if she has the farm. I mean, PL also has the BKB now. It's up on Siler. 10 seconds on both of them. With Ion Shells, they could look for a fight.
They really could. For now, though, she's nursing Xiao Wei going in Viz. The Psionic traps are down. And Virtus.Pro, they got to be careful about where they're walking as well. It's almost worth actually, they've already got it. They got a gem over on God. So they're going to get rid of this vision of LGD, and this is the right choice. Like, you can talk about what would happen if Templar Assassin has a refraction charges up, but Virtus.Pro have a lot of what they want where they can just initiate the fight themselves. They've still got Phobos with that Blink Dagger 4-staff, one of the best initiations out there with the instant stun that comes out from Echo Slam and the damage with it. So if you can keep LGD blind on the map, they'll never know exactly where they can go to find the openings, and which they're trying to find one right now. It's a 4-man smoke move. They just got a fresh Blink Dagger over on the Darkseer, and they will be fighting this Bane. Nightmare just going to slow it up, and the rest of Virtus.Pro are coming in. I don't think they really want to, however. Maybe triggers the BKB, gone, 4-staffed away to safety. And yeah, Virtus.Pro realize they want to pull back the T1 tower, and Yao, the back, can't pull him into the wall, however, and with a Sonic Wave and the eating damage, there's not enough damage until the stun hits from Leshrac. But Sylar going after the Crystal Maiden. She is very easy here to kill up, especially when maybe moves up with the stun from Phobos, still with the Echo Slam, looking for more stuns, maybe dying the Pulse Nova. He has to move further away, but Phobos up with the stun. Control is there, but they can't see him until one burst of the Pulse. Feeling out the Templar Assassin, and she'll go down the high ground. It's still a 3-for-2 trade-off, but you get the big hero of LGD, the Templar Assassin. But with the track gold, LGD gained 1,800 compared to the 300 that VP got from that one fight.
Thank you.
This, by the way, pretty interesting stat. It just goes to show that LGD are... This is definitely the game plan, right? They want it. They look at the VP's lineup. They know it's so much about magic damage in the lockdown, so they get an item that's very unusual for PL to get second. You saw the stat. He never gets it first. This is the second time he got it as the second item, and in 4% of games he gets it as his third item. It's very unusual. Of course, the reason you generally don't see it so much on PL is that the hero itself is just very elusive, and the illusions obviously don't benefit from the BKB at all. But they have to have one on Sylar this game so that he can come in close and start dealing damage. It's the BKB that's allowing him to play his hero in the fights right now. If he didn't have it, that last fight he would have had like 0 impact. So I 100% agree with this pickup, and it looks like he's going into a Manta now. I think that's very good too.
Is this enough really for him to fight though? That BKB is early on, and the charge time is going to obviously get a lot lower for him. Is this one of these things where, like you were talking before about the Phantom Lancer, you get into the late game here and really just starts to take over? Is the BKB the way to do that? Or is it at that point you'd say, you know what, fine, like, I'll just get Heart, I'll just get Butterfly, we'll have fun with that?
Well, if he wants, he can just drop it later, right? Or just sell it. So it's definitely a possibility for Sylar to exchange the BKB for something else later, but I think in this situation it's definitely the right choice right now. They have to be able to use him in fights, else VP will take all objectives. They've taken a lot of them already, only 1 tier 2 tower remaining, and the next Roshan is definitely going to be on LGD's radar. They will want to contest that, because to be honest, fighting in the Roche pit, sure, VP have incredible amounts of AoE, but LGD aren't bad either. They have Vacuum Wall, they have Alina. Of course, they have 2 good Ion Shell carriers with BKBs that won't just die instantly. Like, there's no way maybe and Sylar get killed immediately in the fights. It's more risky for the Bounty Hunter.
TPs are coming down the bottom lane. Virtus.Pro want to try and defend this, or at least stall down the push. Illidan just walks straight forward and mops up the wave, while God finishes the tier 2 tower on top. And now he'll come to join the rest of his teammates on bottom, and LGD, they don't want a bar of it. They're already leaving. Without that tier 1 tower gone, it's not easy to slip for Roshan, but what they do have an advantage of is, okay, well, they have a Sentry Ward on the cliffside. I was about to say, they don't have that gem anymore on Virtus.Pro. They lost it during the last fight, and it's currently sitting in the well of LGD. So they weren't going to have an easy way to remove the Sonic Traps, but they put down 2 Sentry Wards, no way for Bounty Hunter just to slip his way in. The Observer Ward did actually just scout out. No, the Iranian don't have any vision around here. But it's still not going to stop them from coming over. A 5-man smoke move from LGD. Roshan down at 3.5k. They need more time here. Virtus.Pro, they don't really have it. The tracks begin. Lil's being exposed. They're sending in the PL illusions. Look at Phobos walking on the cliffside, waiting for that Echo Slam time. Sylar moves forward. The Bane's already down. CM, FNG on the hillside throwing out the ulti. But we still don't have anything really until that Sonic Wave connects on Xiaowei as well as MMY, but Illidan, he doesn't have a BKB, going to get Lagooned up in the air, trying to buy a little bit more space as the self-fuels into the Pulse Nova, and he actually ended up killing himself similarly on the wall, maybe stunned up by Phobos, but it took so long for him to come in. LGD, they wipe 4 players of VP off. Thank God, there's nothing more he can do. They have to let him have Roshan. What a fight for LGD!
That's probably about 6,000 gold they just got there, relative to VP. It's a 5,000 swing from the fight. They get the Roshan. They get another 30 seconds of farm without VP farming on most of their heroes. And what can I say? It's the BKBs, it's the way they initiate. The Bane is pretty much a non-factor, because what LGD do is they just blink in with maybe onto the Bane with Iron Shell on, and blow him up in 2 hits. If he tries to cast Fiend Script, he's going to die immediately to something else, like even the either the Iron Shell or like a Dragon Slave or something. He actually can't really do much with the Bane, and they have to approach the fights differently. I think the way VP need to do this is that they need to get either the Leshrac used as bait, where he doesn't get stunned up by the Lina. That's the only stun on LGD's side, unless you count Vacuum, which is, you know, a very short duration. If Illidan's the one engaged on, it will enable Bane to maybe get a Fiend Script off. It will enable him to get a better Echo Slam than the one they just got. And maybe they can extend the fight long enough for the BKBs to expire them. But if Bane dies in the start, it's just a flat-out 5-on-4. Like, he lives for literally 2 seconds in the fight.
You're coming up with a lot of maybes, man.
Yep. Oh.
But only one is causing VP the troubles. Templar Assassin is getting so big. 2,100 gold on her right now. That Mana Style from her will be done very, very shortly, and still with the immortality of the Aegis for another roughly 3.5 minutes. They can still push in and look to take some objectives of their own. That tier 1 tower, VP denied them last time. Illidan's coming out a long way, and we actually get the Assault Cuirass. Your Scepter on bottom lane, looking for the perfect stun timing over on Sylar, but he'll trigger the BKB. It's now down to 7 seconds, and Illidan just wants a TP out, but Xiao's there with a Shuriken toss. He'll stop the TP out. He has a Pulse Nova up. There's more support coming in from Virtus.Pro, but Illidan's already dead. God will arrive, and he's walking into Xiao. We'll see him come out. There's an Invis Rune and an Assault Cuirass, which is having its effect on LGD. If they're looking at their bars right now, they'll understand they're being affected up by something. They haven't seen the gods at this AC yet. Leshrac has buyback 27 seconds before he'll naturally respawn. But the Fissures, God, he doesn't want anything to do with it. They just back up, and LGD will take tier 1 and tier 2 tower here.
And there's just so much unclaimed gold on the map that LGD managed to pick up within the last 5 minutes. They're going to have about a 10,000 gold lead now, out of nowhere. Just these key track kills, and the towers, and the Roche they stole.
They're taking everything from Virtus.Pro. Again, VP had a good start. They were looking good. The momentum was there. You move around, you take out some towers. God had brilliant farm. Sure, Leshrac out a couple of times, but he was still looking very, very good. And then this bounty kicks in, the Templar Assassins finding pickoffs, the PL's able to stand during fights. And Virtus.Pro were really not ready for this. They thought there could be some level of trap coming out from LGD. Like, they gave them Leshrac. This does not happen often. So something had to be in LGD's books to fix it and get that balance out. Now this game, even if LGD move through, it's going to affect future drafts as well.
Yes.
With people, how they ban Leshrac against LGD. Or how LGD bans against them.
Yeah, we saw maybe play Lesh earlier in the tournament against Secret. That was not something you want to do again, I think. He absolutely destroyed that game. It's only one game, of course, and a lot of factors affect that, but maybe it's definitely very comfortable playing Lesh, so. So is Illidan, though.
And Illidan's right on top of 2 Templar Assassin traps. His smoke broke. Virtus.Pro were looking for any angle which would give them a favorable initiation, and they could not find it. And in fact, as a self-yours, just getting rid of the track. But Lil still got it on him. So LGD safely take out all the remaining outer towers of Virtus.Pro. And this gold graph's now at 10,000, 8K on the experience. It just continues to rise for LGD. At the same time, what do we got being built up? Maybe he's actually finishing a full Daedalus. So he's not buying up the Mana Style. He's just keeping it as a casual Yasha. And when this Aegis times out, which it will do so in roughly 30 seconds, he'll just sub in the Daedalus. And there it is.
Yeah, this is the right call from VP. I was about to say they need to buy smoke and try to make it play. It's very clear for them right now with the advantage they had. They knew they were ahead, I think it was 15-6. So they've lost the mid game, or the later portion of the mid game, 9-2. They've just lost a lot of towers. They're playing against Trek, and they lost to Roche. They must know they're behind on gold here. Even as farmed as G and Illidan are, the two supports on their side are very, very poor. Crystal Maiden and Bane, compared to, like, Lina has more net worth than the two of them combined right now. He has a Yules and is going to get an Aghanim Scepter and 25 gold now on MMY.
You brought up the smoke of Virtus.Pro. Just double checking. This is their last smoke for 11 minutes. They cannot buy another smoke for another 11 minutes over on Virtus.Pro. So when they do use it, if it doesn't pay off, they're in real trouble.
There we go. That's the Octarine core. I think this is the best opportunity they're going to have for the rest of the game.
Well, they've got to keep God alive if they're going to have that opportunity. God's walking back into LGD. In fact, blinks into LGD. The Yule Scepter up from MMY with a follow-up stun. There's still a little life on him, but God cannot blink again. 80 seconds on the side, and he bought an Ultimate Orb before he died. Hence, the money is not there. They have to force this out. Xiao Wei not hit by that dust. They're trying to reveal him. That Octarine core is repairing the lack of Bloodstone charges on Leshrac for the moment. There's now PL looking for the kills after Phobos. And Echo Slam needs to buy more space. Phobos just doesn't have it. Not when the Shuriken Toss bounces up as well. Illidan, they'll chase him in deeper. LGD looking to come on a rampage. FNG, in fact, they even just lost the Courier of the Radiant side, but it does not matter. It was the Aghanim Scepter lost. Lil has to put himself into a nightmare, but the nightmare is what's happening inside of Virtus.Pro's base. FNG, no ulti, the back will cancel. He held it for so long. VP are completely team wiped. And right now, with no buybacks on anyone but the Earthshaker, they will lose potentially 2 lanes of racks, if not more.
They don't even care about the backdoor protection. Whatever. Let's just go through it here. PL as well as the TA with Desolator are doing so much damage that they can actually pull this off. And I want to say Xiao Wei in this game, he died a couple of times in the early game, but the amount of information he has been able to gather for them and the way he's been leading their movements in this game has been such a big part of this victory.
The creep wave just entered the base, and now you see just how much easier it is as the gold skyrockets. God, he's staring down LGD, but LGD are going to take their spoils of war and invest it in something good to come back later. The Templar Assassin has 4K gold now. The PL buys a casual 40-minute S&Y after having the full Skadi up and running.
Yeah, he didn't want to upgrade the Yasha into Manta after all. I thought he was going to do it for some split push power and just more illusions in the team fight. But since they have so many illusion clearing heroes, he wants to focus on just making his main PL as strong as possible. And turning the Yasha into an S&Y after he used the Yasha as a farming item, I think in this particular game is actually a pretty good choice. Even though I'm not a fan of post 30-minute S&Ys in general, I think this is one of the cases where it's actually a better choice than Manta.
He's just there to end the game now. Like, LGD just group up. Roshan will spawn the next 3 minutes. This will be the next LGD fighting point. But for now, we like the second level up in Diffusal, the SMY. It's all nice for him. Maybe he can spend his money later. They've got to wait another minute as well until MMY, because it was his Aghanim Scepter. It was the Laguna upgrade level 3 ulti for the Lina, which was denied when that Courier ended up getting popped. But at the same time, like, they have to wait 1 minute and it's back.
And it actually doesn't make that much of a difference, because there's no BKBs on the Dire side. So
even the Darkseid's having a great time. He can blink Shiva's Greaves. Everything's right for him. At least there's a little bit more armor coming up for the Earthshaker with his own plate mode. But you're down to a 2 Bloodstone Leshrac. That's all the charge he's got, and you're going to lose FNG. The TA traps are down, maybe. Blink it. And go it. God's waiting for him, and Sylar comes up. FNG, quick work. Sonic Wave will be there with the back wall. Virtus.Pro, they're getting fought outside their own base and dying. God's on the run, but Sylar just dashing himself down. And this could be the opening. 80 seconds without the Queen of Pain and Leshrac down. That's really over. They can just go down and take the GG push here. LGD, there's nothing left for Virtus.Pro. They will be eliminated from the International 5. It's been a terrific run. The questions were there, could LGD pick themselves up after the stomping from CDEC that they got? And the answer is yes, LGD looking strong and looking in charge.
They will proceed and have a shot at, they're now top 4.
Yes.
Virtus.Pro finished 5th.
Yes.
Which is still a really admirable run for them. And LGD are still